Part 1. Early Life and Challenges. Eminem, born Marshall Bruce Mathers III on October 17, 1972, in St. Joseph, Missouri, is one of the most influential rappers in the world. His journey from a tough childhood to global fame is a story of grit, talent, and determination. This essay explores Eminem's life in 5 parts. Started with his early years, which shaped his music and personality. Growing up in poverty, facing family struggles, and discovering hip-hop laid the foundation for his career. Marshall's early life was far from easy. His parents, Deborah Ray Nelson and Marshall Bruce Mathers Jr., had a rocky marriage. They were part of a band called Daddy Warbucks, playing music in small venues across the Midwest. Their relationship fell apart, and Marshall's father left when he was a baby. Debbie, a single mother, struggled to provide for her son. They moved often, living in trailer parks and low-income neighborhoods in Missouri and Michigan. Money was tight, and Marshall faced constant instability. Growing up, Marshall was a shy, quiet kid. He loved comic books and dreamed of becoming a comic book artist. Life in poverty meant he had little time for dreams. His mother worked low-paying jobs, and they relied on welfare to get by. Debbie's struggles with money and personal issues made their relationship complicated. Marshall later described his childhood as lonely, with few friends and a sense of being an outsider. When Marshall was around 12, he and his mother settled in Warren, Michigan, a working-class suburb of Detroit. This move was a turning point. Detroit's music scene, especially its growing hip-hop culture, would shape his future. Life in Warren was tough. The neighborhoods were rough, and Marshall, a white kid in a mostly black and Hispanic area, faced bullying and violence. At age 9, he was beaten so badly by a group of kids that he spent over a week in a coma. These experiences left deep scars, but also fueled his determination to rise above his circumstances. School was another challenge. Marshall attended Lincoln High School in Warren, but struggled academically. He repeated 9th grade 3 times before dropping out at 17. He wasn't a bad student, but he was more interested in music and writing rhymes and traditional education. He worked odd jobs, like washing dishes at a restaurant, to help his mom pay bills. These years sparked his love for hip-hop. Marshall discovered rap music in his early teens, thanks to his uncle Ronnie, who introduced him to artists like Ice-T and LL Cool J. He was hooked. Hip-hop became his escape from a tough life. He started writing rhymes and practicing rapping, often alone in his room. At 14, he adopted the stage name Eminem, which later became Eminem. He began performing at local open mic nights and rap battles, where he honed his skills. Detroit's rap scene in the late 1980s was raw and competitive. Marshall faced skepticism as a white rapper in a genre dominated by black artists. His talent for crafting clever lyrics and delivering fast, rhythmic flows earned him respect. He joined local rap groups like Basement Productions and Soul Intent, releasing small projects that got some local buzz. These early efforts showed a potential, but he was still far from stardom. Marshall's relationship with his mother was strained. Debbie struggled with her own issues, including alleged drug use, which Marshall later referenced in his music. They fought often, and he felt she didn't support his dreams. Despite this, he cared for her and helped when he could. Another blow came in 1991 when his uncle Ronnie, one of his closest supporters, died by suicide. This loss hit Marshall hard and influenced his emotional, raw style of music. By his late teens, Marshall was a young man with big dreams but little stability. He was broke, living in rough neighborhoods, and facing constant rejection in the music world. His passion for rap kept him going. He spent hours writing, battling, and dreaming a way out of poverty. In his early 20s, Marshall started to make a name for himself in Detroit's underground rap scene. He released his first independent album, Infinite, in 1996 with a small local label. The album showed his lyrical talent, but didn't sell well. Critics said his style was too similar to other rappers, and he struggled to stand out. He kept pushing, performing anywhere he could, and refining his craft. Around this time, Marshall's personal life grew more complex. He began a relationship with Kimberly and Scott, whom he met in high school. Their on-again, off-again romance was intense and often turbulent. In 1995, Kim gave birth to their daughter, Haley Jade. Becoming a father gave Marshall a new sense of purpose, but also added pressure to provide for his young family. Eminem's early life was marked by poverty, instability, and personal loss. Growing up in tough neighborhoods, facing bullying and struggle with family issues shaped his resilience. His discovery of hip-hop gave him a voice and a dream to chase. Though his early music efforts didn't bring success, they laid the groundwork for his future. The challenges of his youth, poverty, rejection, and heartbreak, became the fuel for his raw, emotional lyrics that would later define his career. Part 2, Rise to Fame. By the late 1990s, Marshall was still an unknown rapper, but his life was about to change. In 1997, he competed in the Rap Olympics, a national rap battle competition in Los Angeles. He took second place, catching the attention of an Interscope Records employee who passed his demo tape to Dr. Dre, a legendary producer and rapper. Dr. Dre was impressed by Marshall's unique style and raw talent. He signed him to Aftermath Entertainment, a turning point in his career. In 1999, Eminem released a Slim Shady LP, produced by Dr. Dre. The album introduces alter ego, Slim Shady, a dark, humorous, and controversial character. Songs like My Name Is and Guilty Conscience blended clever wordplay with shocking lyrics about violence and personal struggles. The album was a hit, selling over 5 million copies, and earning Eminem his first Grammy nomination. Suddenly, he was a star. The Slim Shady LP made Eminem one of the biggest names in music. His raw, honest lyrics about his tough life resonated with millions. Fans loved his humor and fearless style, while critics praised his skill as a lyricist. His music also sparked controversy. Some called his lyrics offensive, accusing him of promoting violence and disrespecting women. Eminem defended his work, saying Slim Shady was persona, a way to express his anger and pain through art. The success of the album brought fame and money, but it didn't solve Eminem's problems. His relationship with Kim was rocky, and they broke up and got back together multiple times. He also faced legal issues, including a lawsuit from his mother, who claimed his lyrics defamed her. Despite these challenges, Eminem stayed focused on his music. In 2000, Eminem released a Marshall Mathers LP, which took his fame to new heights. The album sold 1.76 million copies in its first week, a record at the time. Songs like Stan, The Real Slim Shady, and The Way I Am showcase his storytelling, humor, and raw emotion. Stan, in particular, became a cultural milestone, telling the story of an obsessed fan with a haunting sample from Dido's Thank You. The word Stan even entered the dictionary as a term for an overzealous fan. The album was a massive success, earning multiple Grammy nominations and winning Best Rap Album. It also fueled more controversy. Critics and advocacy groups attacked Eminem for lyrics they saw as homophobic and violent. Protests followed him, and some radio stations banned his music. Eminem argued that his songs were art, not a call to violence, and that he was reflecting the world he grew up in. His ability to turn pain into music made him a voice for a generation. With 2 hit albums, Eminem became a global superstar. He collaborated with artists like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and D12, a Detroit rap group he helped form. He also started his own label, Shady Records, to support up-and-coming artists like 50 Cent. His success gave him the power to shape the rap industry, but it also brought pressure. Fans and critics expected every album to top the last, and Eminem felt the weight of staying relevant. His personal life remained chaotic. He married Kim in 1999, but they divorced in 2001. Their fights often played out in the public eye, and Eminem poured his emotions into his music. Songs like Kim and When I'm Gone showed his love and frustration with her. Raising Haley was his priority, and he fought for custody, wanting to give her a better life than he had. Eminem's rise changed hip-hop. As a white rapper, he broke barriers in a genre rooted in black culture. Some accuse him of stealing hip-hop, but others, including Dr. Dre and Jay-Z, praise his talent and authenticity. Eminem addressed the criticism in songs like White America, where he acknowledged his race while proving his skill. His success opened doors for other white rappers and showed that talent could transcend race. He also brought a new style to rap, His intricate rhymes, fast flows, and emotional depth set him apart. He wasn't afraid to be vulnerable, rapping about his struggles with poverty, family, and fame. This honesty connected with fans worldwide, from urban cities to small towns. Eminem became a symbol of overcoming odds, inspiring millions to chase their dreams. Eminem's rise to fame was meteoric. From a struggling rapper in Detroit to a global icon, he turned his pain into art with the Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP. His music broke records, sparked debates, and redefined hip-hop. Despite controversies and personal struggles, he stayed true to his craft, building a legacy that would shape music for decades. Part 3. Peak career and personal struggles. By the early 2000s, Eminem was at the top of the music world. In 2002, he released The Eminem Show, another massive hit. The album sold over 10 million copies worldwide and featured singles like Without Me, Clean Out My Closet, and Superman. These songs mix humor, introspection, and social commentary, showing Eminem's growth as an artist. The Eminem Show won a Grammy for Best Rap Album and solidified his place as a rap legend. Around this time, Eminem starred in 8 Mile, a semi-autobiographical film about a young rapper in Detroit. The movie was a critical and commercial success, earning over $240 million at the box office. Its soundtrack included Lose Yourself, a song that became Eminem's anthem. The track won an Oscar for Best Original Song, the first rap song to achieve this. Lose Yourself inspired millions with its message of seizing opportunities. It remains one of the most iconic songs in music history. Eminem's success wasn't limited to his own music. Through Shady Records, he signed and mentored artists like 50 Cent, whose debut album Get Rich or Die Trying, 2003, was a massive hit. Eminem also worked with D12, releasing their album D12 World in 2004. His ability to spot talent and produce hits made him a powerhouse in the industry. He wasn't just a rapper. He was a businessman shaping hip-hop's future. He collaborated with major artists like Rihanna, Elton John, and Jay-Z, showing his versatility. His performance with Elton John at the 2001 Grammys was a bold move to counter accusations of homophobia. The duet shocked fans but showed Eminem's willingness to challenge critics and bridge divides. Despite his success, Eminem's personal life was unraveling. His marriage to Kim ended in divorce in 2001, and their custody battles over Haley were messy. Eminem's pain was evident in songs like Cleaning Out My Closet, where he aired his grievances with his mother and Kim. He began struggling with addiction to prescription drugs, including Vicodin and Ambien. The stress of fame, constant touring, and personal drama took a toll. In 2004, Eminem released Encore, which sold well but received mixed reviews. Songs like Just Lose It and Mosh showed his range, from playful political, but some fans felt the album lacked the fire of his earlier work. Eminem later admitted that his drug use affected his creativity during this time. By 2005, he was spiraling. He canceled a European tour, citing exhaustion, and checked into rehab for the first time. Eminem's addiction worsened after Encore. In 2006, he remarried Kim, hoping to rebuild their family for Haley's sake, but the marriage lasted only a few months. His drug use escalated, and he nearly died from an overdose in 2007. He later described taking so many pills that he was close to organ failure. Friends and family, including Dr. Dre, urged him to get help, but Eminem struggled to stay clean. During this period, he stepped back from music. He released a greatest hits album, Curtain Call, in 2005, hinting he might retire. Fans worried he'd never return to his peak form. Eminem spent much of 2006 to 2008 in a haze, battling addiction and depression. He gained weight, isolated himself, and questioned his future in music. In 2006, Eminem suffered another devastating loss when his best friend, Deshaun Holton, known as Proof, was killed in a shooting at a Detroit nightclub. Proof was a member of D12 and one of Eminem's closest confidants. They had known each other since their teens, battling together in Detroit's rap scene. Proof's death crushed Eminem, deepening his depression and addiction. He later said losing Proof felt like losing a part of himself. Proof's death also inspired Eminem to fight for sobriety. He realized he needed to be there for Haley and honor his friend's memory. In 2008, he entered rehab again, this time with a stronger commitment to recovery. With the help of therapy, support from friends, and his love for music, he began to rebuild his life. The early 2000s were Eminem's peak as an artist, with The Eminem Show, 8 Mile, and Lose Yourself cementing his legacy. He expanded his influence through shady records and collaborations, becoming a leader in hip-hop. Behind the success, he battled addiction, personal losses, and the pressures of fame. Proof's death and a near-fatal overdose were wake-up calls, pushing him toward recovery. Part 4, Comeback and Reinvention. After years of struggling with addiction, Eminem made a comeback in 2009 with Relapse. The album marked his return to music after a 5-year gap. Produced largely by Dr. Dre, it featured dark, intense tracks like 3 a.m. and Beautiful, where Eminem reflected on his addiction and recovery. The album debuted at number 1 and sold over 2 million copies, proving he was still a force in music. Some critics felt Relapse leaned too heavily on shock value and wasn't his best work. Eminem himself later admitted Relapse was a stepping stone. He was still finding his voice after years away. To address fan feedback, he released Relapse, Refill later in 2009, with new tracks like Forever, a collaboration with Drake, Kanye West, and Lil Wayne. The song showed he could still compete with rap's new generation. In 2010, Eminem released Recovery, an album that many consider a high point in his career. Unlike his earlier work, Recovery was introspective and focused on his journey to sobriety. Songs like Not Afraid and Love the Way You Lie, featuring Rihanna, were anthems of resilience and redemption. Not Afraid became a global hit, reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, while Love the Way You Lie addressed his tumultuous relationship with Kim and domestic violence. Recovery sold over 7 million copies worldwide and won a Grammy for Best Rap Album. It showed a more mature Eminem, unafraid to confront his flaws and share his growth. Fans connected with his honesty, and the album brought him a new wave of popularity. He began touring again, performing with energy and proving he was back for good. Eminem continued to shape the rap industry through shady records. He signed artists like Slaughterhouse and Yelawolf, helping them reach wider audiences. In 2011, he formed Bad Meets Evil with Royce da 5 feet 9 inches, a fellow Detroit rapper he'd known since the 1990s. Their EP Hell, the sequel, was a hit with tracks like Lighters featuring Bruno Mars, showing their chemistry. He collaborated with younger artists like Nicki Minaj and Kendrick Lamar, staying relevant in a changing music landscape. His work with Rihanna continued, with hits like The Monster in 2013. Eminem's ability to adapt while staying true to his style kept him at the top of the game. By the 2010s, Eminem was in a better place personally. Sobriety gave him clarity and focus. He became more involved in raising Haley, who was growing into a teenager. He took in his younger half-brother, Nathan, and Kim's daughter from another relationship, Whitney, treating them like his own. Family became his anchor, and he worked to repair his relationship with Kim, though they never fully reconciled. Eminem embraced fitness, replacing drugs with exercise to manage stress. He ran daily and adopted a healthier lifestyle. His discipline showed in his music, as he continued to write and record at a relentless pace. He spoke openly about his recovery, inspiring fans who faced similar struggles. In 2013, Eminem released the Marshall Mathers LP2, a sequel to his 2000 classic. The album blended nostalgia with new energy, featuring hits like Berserk, Rap God, and Headlights. Rap God showcases technical skill with lightning-fast rhymes that silence doubters. Headlights, a heartfelt apology to his mother, showed his growth and willingness to heal old wounds. The album debuted at number 1 and won a Grammy, proving Eminem's staying power. He headlined major festivals and toured with Rihanna, drawing huge crowds. At 40, he was still a dominant force, competing with artists half his age. Despite his success, Eminem faced criticism in the 2010s. Some said his music didn't evolve enough, sticking to old themes. Others felt he struggled to connect with younger fans raised on trap and mumble rap. Eminem addressed these critiques in his music, calling out detractors in songs like The Ringer from his 2018 album Kamikaze. The surprise release of Kamikaze was a bold move, targeting critics and new rappers he felt lacked substance. It debuted at #1, showing he still had a loyal fan base. Eminem's comeback in the late 2000s and early 2010s was a triumph. Relapse and Recovery showed his resilience, while the Marshall Mathers LP2 and Kamikaze proved he could evolve while staying true to himself. Sobriety and family gave him stability, and his mentorship of new artists expanded his legacy. Though he faced criticism, he remained a giant in hip-hop. Part 5, Legacy in Later Years. Eminem entered the 2020s as a rap icon, still making music and breaking records. In 2020, he released Music to be Murdered By, a surprise album inspired by Alfred Hitchcock. It debuted at #1 and included hits like Godzilla, featuring Juice WRLD, and Darkness, a powerful commentary on gun violence. The album showed he could tackle serious issues while delivering jaw-dropping rhymes. A deluxe edition, Side B, followed, with tracks like Nat addressing the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2022, Eminem was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a major honor. He performed at the ceremony alongside Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, celebrating his impact on music. That same year, he released Curtain Call 2, a second greatest hits collection, and performed at the Super Bowl 56 halftime show with Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, and others. The performance was a cultural moment, watched by over 100 million people. In 2024, Eminem released The Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace, an album that marked a new chapter. The concept album explored the death of his Slim Shady persona, blending nostalgia with fresh sounds. Tracks like Houdini and Toby, featuring Big Sean and Babytron, were hits, and the album debuted at #1. It showed Eminem reflecting on his career, while proving he could still compete with younger artists. The album also addressed his legacy. Songs like Guilty Conscience 2 revisited his early work, while others tackled aging and relevance in a changing industry. Fans and critics praised his creativity, though some noted his reluctance to fully retire Slim Shady. The album's success reaffirmed his place as a rap legend. Eminem's influence on music and culture is undeniable. He brought hip-hop to new audiences, breaking racial barriers and proving that talent knows no color. His storytelling, from Stand to Lose Yourself, set a standard for lyrical depth. He inspired countless rappers, from Kendrick Lamar to Machine Gun Kelly, who cite him as a major influence. Beyond music, Eminem shaped pop culture. His lyrics sparked debates about free speech and art, pushing boundaries and challenging norms. He paved the way for emotional vulnerability in rap, making it okay for artists to share their struggles. His work ethic, writing and recording relentlessly, set a standard for dedication. By the 2020s, Eminem's personal life was more stable. He focused on raising Haley, who graduated college and started a podcast. He remained close with Nathan and Whitney, supporting their goals. His relationship with Kim improved, though they stayed apart. Eminem lived a private life in Detroit, avoiding the spotlight when not performing. He became an advocate for sobriety, sharing his story to help others. He celebrated over a decade of being drug-free, a milestone he credited to his daughter and music. Fitness remained a big part of his life, and he often spoke about running and working out to stay mentally sharp. Eminem has given back through his Marshall Mathers Foundation, which supports at-risk youth in Michigan. The foundation provides scholarships and resources to help kids escape poverty, much like Eminem did. He's donated to charities for addiction recovery and disaster relief, often quietly. His roots in Detroit kept him grounded, and he supported local artists and community projects. As of 2025, Eminem is 52 and shows no signs of slowing down. He continues to record music, mentor artists, and perform. While he's hinted at retiring, his love for rap keeps him going. Fans speculate about future projects, including a possible collaboration with 50 Cent or a new film. Whatever he does next, Eminem's legacy is secure. Eminem's later years show a man who has grown from his struggles into a legend. Music to be Murdered By and The Death of Slim Shady prove he's still relevant. while his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction and Super Bowl performance cement his impact. His influence on hip-hop culture and fans is unmatched. From a kid in Detroit to a global icon, Eminem's story is one of talent, resilience, and redemption. His music will inspire generations to come. Eminem's life is a testament to overcoming adversity. From a tough childhood to addiction and fame, he turned pain into art. His raw lyrics, fearless style, and relentless drive made him a legend. Through controversies, personal losses, and triumphs, he stayed true to himself, leaving a legacy that transcends music. This essay, spanning his early struggles to his lasting impact, shows why Eminem remains one of the greatest artists of all time.